Workplace wants to remove bell at desk that aids my disability. So, I'm a night auditor. I've been at the job for about 6 months now, and this is the longest I've lasted at any job. Working is really difficult for me due to my blend of mental illnesses, so when I landed this gig after accumulating a shit ton of rent debt and cutting ties with my abusive family, I was celebrating like I'd won the lottery. The fact that I get paid to do F all most of the time is a goddamned blessing. The previous manager was awesome, and trained me how to do everything super fast. She actively encouraged me to bring my laptop or switch in to play video games during my shift, because otherwise I'd get so bored I'd start bashing my head into a wall. She also told me I could use the bell from the kitchen to put at the front desk for guests to easily get my attention. This had been an absolute godsend regarding my ADHD, and I made a sign to request guests to ring it for me during the dead of the night. After only 2 shifts, she said she was confident I could manage my own work, and I've been working alone ever since, with security around a good half the time. Back in September, she left for a different job. Everyone was pretty heartbroken, but of course we all wished the best for her, and she departed with no issues. There was about 2 months where the front desk was reporting directly to the general manager, who was slowly but surely getting less and less responsive to messages and calls. At one point, I had a guest approach me, complaining that their car had been stolen from our parking garage, and despite being told they would get the chance to speak with the GM about the incident, she had never showed up. I sent an email to the GM immediately, furious that she had not responded to our guests and upset that my repeated calls to her over the last 2 weeks hadn't been acknowledged. I told her that she had to come in that day to discuss things with our guests, as they would be checking out the next morning, and I expected to be updated on the situation as it had happened during my shift, and I would like to know how I'm expected to respond to this. I got no response, and she did not arrive at the hotel that day, so I sent an email to HR saying that I was unable to get in touch with her and needed assistance ASAP. That was fortunately able to kick the GM's ass into gear, and the situation was dealt with, though I never got my update. Finally, about a month and a half ago, we got a new front desk manager, who I'll call M. Her introduction to us all felt off-putting. She opened with a standard introduction, and then immediately dove into a rant about the bell. She had seen my sign saying to please ring it, and went off the handle saying it was ludicrous and absurdly unprofessional. She said she threw out the sign, and should she see a sign like that again, the poster of it would have disciplinary action taken against them. In addition, she's taken away the keyboards for the computers in the back office, making them functionally unusable for everyone else. This is, of course, a dog's hit way to introduce yourself to your new employees, and a complete power trip to me. A bell is a normal thing to see at a hotel, and putting that aside, it has been an absolute game changer for my disability. I have really bad time blindness and will forget to check the cameras for extended periods of time, and the bell is a good way of immediately getting my attention from whatever I'm doing and getting me to the front desk immediately. I decide that M will surely understand if I tell her it's a disability aid, so I leave a response to her clarifying as much. I obviously don't tell her the details of my disability, just saying that I can be very forgetful and the bell makes it easier for guests to get my attention when I'm in the back office. In addition, I would very much like to use the computers in the back office. M says that it doesn't matter, and I'm not allowed to use the bell. I remind her that as a disabled employee I am entitled to reasonable accommodation, and she's having none of it. She demands I get a doctor's note for the stupid fucking bell, or take it up with GM. She also neatly dodges any of my requests asking where the keyboards are or if we can still use the back office computers. She also says, if I'm experiencing trouble focusing, should remove my distractions. This advice is very upsetting to hear, not only because I do not want unwarranted advice on how to manage my medical condition, but also because I know that that is not how my illness works. This is maybe where I should have stepped back. I sent an email to GM, explaining that I like to use the bell and it's a preferable alternative to guests entering employee-only areas to get my attention, and I would like to have it cleared as a disability aid. I also mentioned that I do not want to hear M commenting on how I should treat my disability, as she is not qualified to do so. GM seemed to take a very stern tone with her response, demanding to know why I wasn't at the front desk, why I wasn't checking the cameras. The bell has never been allowed and I'm breaking the rules by using it. Worst of all, she demands to know why I did not mention my disability in the course of my interview. This question is shocking. No employee is ever required to disclose their disability to an employer before the job has been offered unless it makes them unable to perform the job duties, and as the manager she should know this. I repeat that I am not required to disclose at any time until I make a request for accommodation, and that my disability means that I sometimes forget to check the cameras, and this is not something I am in control of. Additionally, I stress that I have never been told I am required to remain at the front desk for the entirety of my shift. This has never been the case for me nor anyone else I have worked night audit with. I also CC HR to make sure they're hearing all of this as well. HR responds saying if I want accommodations, I'll need a doctor's note, though they do not mention GM's out-of-pocket demands to know why I hadn't disclosed my disability. GM denies that she ever requested I disclose my disability, despite the fact that I have the fucking email sitting in our reply chain just a few days prior. She says that I'm to respect M's authority as she has many years of experience in the industry. This is not something I have ever denied, and that I'm to remain at the front desk for the entirety of my shift. Additionally, she says that M has claimed I've been hooking my laptop up to the work monitors to play video games. This accusation has come out of nowhere. While I have brought my laptop to work to play games, this is something I was extremely explicitly told was allowed by the previous management, and I have never connected my personal laptop to the work computers. I tell her as much, and make sure to stress that I am upset with M because she gave me unsolicited advice on how to manage a medical condition she is not qualified to comment on. Her experience as a hotel manager is irrelevant in that specific matter. I also make sure to stress that it is incredibly fucking weird, considering how bad M has stressed that she's the manager, that she never approached me about this supposed workplace habit. I would expect her to discuss any issues with my performance with me directly, as that would be the normal thing to do. I've not gotten a response to this email, and it's been 3 weeks since I sent it. I'm honestly not sure what to do now. Did I just completely let my anger about this whole situation fuck me over? Do I get papers from my doctor saying that I'm disabled? If I do that, should I bother with the stupid bell that caused all of this bullshit? I still want my fucking bell back, but it's not worth losing my job. Update. 34 days since the last update. I made a post here a while back about my manager taking away the bell I use at the front desk. Long story short, I like using the bell as it's an effective disability aid and I was originally encouraged to use it. New management came in and said if I was caught using again disciplinary action would be taken. Told her it was a disability aid, she didn't care, took the issue to my GM who began to grill me on why I hadn't disclosed my disability during my interview. Of course, she's not allowed to ask that, legally, I'm not obligated to disclose, and she's not allowed to ask me to do so during the course of an interview. I CC'd HR in my response explaining as much, however nothing came and eventually the situation died down, though I still didn't get my bell back. However, apparently my email got a small investigation cropped up around the GM's behavior. Corporate began sniffing around and found that next to nothing in our hotel was compliant with corporate policy, and bonus money that should have been sent to front desk staff as a result of positive reviews mentioning them by name never actually made it to the staff. According to a coworker of mine, the GM had to be escorted out of the building. I spoke with the new acting GM about everything, and he said he was excited to meet me because of the multiple glowing reviews he'd read that mentioned me by name. He's interested in equipping me with the skills to begin rising up the management ranks, and asked me to expand on things that would make my job easier. Among some many changes he's planning on implementing came my personal favorite bit of news: I got my bell back.